The greatest trick the system ever played on you was convincing you that wealth is something impossibly complex. You were led to believe it's higher mathematics, something mystical, reserved only for geniuses, the lucky, or the chosen few. But that's a lie. It's simple arithmetic, ridiculously simple. The reason you aren't rich isn't a lack of intelligence or a broken economy. It's because you're living by a moral code designed to keep you poor. You're playing checkers while the wealthy are waging war. Machiavelli, the author of the Manual on Power, understood this 500 years ago. He looked at the world and saw a simple truth. The world does not reward virtue. It rewards effectiveness. You struggle because you're trying to be a good worker, a diligent saver, an exemplary citizen. You're waiting for the world to hand you a gold star for your suffering. But the world doesn't care about your suffering. It respects only one thing: leverage. I'm going to show you the operating system of the rich. It's not polite. It's not fair. But it works. If you're easily offended, close this page and go back to the comfort of the lie. But if you want to understand why money always flows away from you and toward them, stay. We're going to destroy that illusion. By the end of this, you will possess the psychological keys that unlock access to the resource that runs the planet. You'll understand how to position yourself so that money flows to you as a natural consequence of your existence, not as a reward for your exhaustion. But to achieve this, you must be ready to kill the part of you that seeks approval. Machiavelli said, "The greatest pleasure is to deceive the deceiver." The system has deceived you. Today, we flip the game. But first, we must dismantle the foundation of your poverty. The first law, the economy of pain. Stop following your passion. Passion is a hobby. Passion is for weekends. If you want wealth, you must follow the pain. Machiavelli knew that a prince doesn't gain power by doing what he likes. He gains power by solving the chaos that terrifies his subjects. Money is nothing more than evidence of solved problems. The bigger the problem, the bigger the check. The more painful the problem, the more desperate the buyer. Look at your current life. You're likely paid for your time. You show up, perform a task, and leave. That is the behavior of a peasant in Machiavelli's court. You are trading your finite life force for a fixed rate. It's a losing deal. The wealthy don't trade time, they trade solutions to painful problems. Think about it. Why does a heart surgeon earn more than a janitor? Because the pain of a dirty floor is an annoyance. The pain of a stopped heart is death. If you're struggling, it's because the problems you solve are too small, too easy, or too common. You're solving problems that anyone can solve. Therefore, you are easily replaceable. And if you are easily replaceable, you have no leverage. Machiavelli advised, make yourself indispensable to someone. Don't make them love you. Make them need you. Love isn't constant, need is binding. If your boss loves you, he can still fire you when the budget gets cut. If your boss needs you because you hold the keys to clients, code, or revenue, he can't touch you. In fact, he has to pay you whatever you ask. Ask yourself right now, what pain am I relieving? If the answer is I answer emails or I drive a truck, you're in danger. You are competing with millions of others and soon with machines. You must find expensive, urgent, and specific pain. Then you must position yourself as the only aspirin in the pharmacy. It's simple. Identify where people are bleeding, financially, emotionally, physically. Stand there. Offer help. Don't ask for money charge for relief. Getting rich becomes easy when you realize you're not selling a product, you're selling relief from suffering. The second law, the fox and the trap. Most of you were raised on the doctrine of the donkey. Work hard, keep your head down, carry the load. Eventually, the farmer will reward you. Machiavelli laughs at this. He wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. The donkey works until exhaustion. The fox observes the system and finds the shortcut. The trap you're in is the belief that effort equals wealth. It doesn't. If effort equaled wealth, the construction worker sweating in the sun would be a billionaire, and the guy in a suit moving capital on a laptop would be broke. Reality shows the opposite. Why? Because the market doesn't pay for effort, it pays for results. The donkey uses brute force. The fox uses levers. Levers are the art of getting more output per unit of input. This is the secret mechanism of the wealthy. There are 3 forms of Machiavellian leverage you must master. First, labor leverage. This is when other people work for you. The donkey drags the stone, the fox hires 10 donkeys for the price of each moved stone. Second, capital leverage. This is when money works for you. The donkey hoards coins in a bank, the fox borrows the donkey's savings from the bank to buy the farm the donkey works on. Third, and most crucial for you right now, code and media leverage. This is the new frontier. This script I'm writing is written once, but it will be seen by thousands, perhaps millions. The work is done once, the payment is infinite. That is the fox. If you have a job where you have to show up to get paid, you're in a trap. You have no leverage. Getting rich becomes simple when you stop asking, how do I work harder? And start asking, how do I separate my income from my presence? You need to build a machine. A business is a machine. An investment portfolio is a machine. A YouTube channel is a machine. Software is a machine. The wealthy spend their early years building the machine so they can spend the rest of their life oiling it. The poor spend their entire lives being the machine. Which one are you? The third law. Perception is reality. Here's a harsh truth that might hurt your feelings. You are not paid what you're worth. You are paid what people perceive you're worth. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." In the game of wealth, appearance isn't a vanity metric, it's a utility metric. If you look cheap, you will be bargained down. If you look desperate, you will be exploited. If you look insecure, people will not invest in you. Consider 2 consultants. Consultant A is a genius, but he shows up in a wrinkled shirt, speaks hesitantly, and answers emails instantly because he desperately needs the work. Consultant B is average, but he has a flawless website, speaks with slow authority, is hard to reach, and charges 10 times more. Who gets the contract? Consultant B. Every time. Why? Because the client assumes expensive equals good. They assume being hard to reach equals being in demand. You likely undervalue yourself because you judge your worth based on your internal struggle. You know how hard you work to learn the skill, or perhaps how easy it feels to you now. So you price based on your effort. Stop doing that. Price is a signal. When you raise your prices, you don't just earn more money, you attract a better audience. You signal to the market that you are a valuable asset. Machiavelli advised princes to maintain an aura of greatness, never letting the public see them stumbling or begging. Apply this. Never complain about money publicly. Never look like you need the deal. The strongest negotiating position is the ability to walk away and mean it. Humans are hierarchical animals. We are programmed to follow high-status individuals. If you project high status through your discipline, your dress, your speech, and your boundaries, people will instinctively want to give you their resources. They want to cooperate with power. If you project weakness, they will instinctively want to take from you. Analyze your presentation, not just your clothes, but your digital footprint, your speech patterns, your availability. Are you signaling, I am a commodity? Or are you signaling, I am a trophy? Wealth flows to trophies. The 4th law, ruthless elimination. You think you need more to get rich. More ideas, more contacts, more hours in the day. Machiavelli would say you need less. A prince cannot rule if his court is full of parasites, fools, and traitors. He must banish them. Your life is likely cluttered with poverty-driven factors. First, people. I won't repeat the cliché that you're the average of the 5 people you spend time with. I'll say something darker. You are a victim of the tolerance you allow. If you tolerate friends who complain about the economy, you will absorb their victim psychology. If you tolerate partners who crave security more than freedom, they will anchor you to the ground. Machiavelli was ruthless about those who did not contribute to the stability of the state. You must be ruthless in cutting off those who don't contribute to the stability of your future. This isn't about being mean, it's about quarantine. Mindset is contagious. Poverty is a virus spread through words like I can't afford this, through habits like spending weekends escaping reality instead of building it, and through fear. If you are the smartest person in your room, you are in the wrong room. You are stagnating. Second, eliminate the noise. You consume hours of content that makes you angry, envious, or distracted. That is mental poison. The wealthy consume information that gives them an edge. The poor consume information that serves as escapism. Every time you scroll a feed, you are making someone else richer. You are the commodity. Your attention is the resource they mine. Machiavelli, looking at a man scrolling TikTok for 3 hours, would see a slave in love with his chains. Take back your attention. It is the raw material for your wealth. If you cannot focus on a single task for 4 hours, whether building your business or mastering a high-income skill, you will never get rich. Focus is the new IQ. In a world where everyone is addicted to dopamine, the person who can sit and work on one thing until it's finished is like a god. Getting rich is simple. Eliminate everything that doesn't contribute to the growth of your assets. Friends, habits, apps, thoughts. If it isn't generating income, get rid of it. The fifth law, the amoral shift. Here, we depart from comfortable advice. You were taught that money is the root of all evil, that the rich are greedy, and that poverty is noble. Machiavelli taught that a prince must learn not to be always good. This doesn't mean being evil. It means being effective. The world isn't a Disney movie. It's a competition for limited resources. If you feel guilty about taking money, you will repel it. You need to shift your relationship with exchange. When you sell something valuable, you aren't just taking money, you are exchanging value. But here's a harder truth. The market does not care about your intentions, it cares about results. You must be willing to be aggressive. You must be willing to compete. If you open a business, you are trying to take market share from someone else. You are trying to feed yourself, which might mean starving them. That's the nature of the game. If you're too polite to close the deal, someone else will. If you're too polite to negotiate a higher salary, the company keeps the difference. Your politeness is essentially a donation of money to people you don't care about. Machiavelli argued it is better to be feared than loved. In business, this means it's better to be respected for your competence and boundaries than loved for your compliance. Stop trying to be the nice guy. Nice guys finish last because they put others' needs above their own. The wealthy put their mission first. They aren't necessarily cruel, but they are indifferent to the opinions of those who don't matter. They handle conflict, they fire incompetent employees, they enforce contracts, they say no without apologizing. To get rich, you must develop a thick skin. You must be willing to be misunderstood. You must be willing to have poor people call you greedy or obsessed. Wear their judgment as a badge of honor. It means you're winning. If you're still here, you've passed the first test. Most didn't. They left when I said their poverty was a choice. They left when I said politeness is a weakness in accumulating power. Good. We don't need them. Wealth, by definition, is exclusive. If everyone had it, it would be worthless. Now that we've cleared the room, let's dive deeper into the mechanism of wealth. We've discussed the mindset. Now we must discuss the mechanism of keeping it, because earning money is useless if you don't know how to preserve it, multiply it, and use it to buy your freedom. The sixth law, the fortress of preservation. Machiavelli spent as much time describing how to hold power as he did how to seize it. He knew that people change their nature quickly when their interests change. The world will try to take your money back. The government wants it in taxes. Corporations want it through consumerism. Inflation wants to devalue it. Friends and family want it in the form of favors. If you earn $1 million and spend $1 million, you aren't rich. You're just a high-paid conduit. You're a pipe that money flowed through. Wealth is what remains in the reservoir. The system is designed to make you a consumer. Every ad, every algorithm, every social pressure is designed to separate you from your capital. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Upgrade your lifestyle. That's propaganda. The wealthy don't upgrade until the asset pays for it. Here's the rule. You never buy a luxury item with your labor. You buy luxury items with the interest from your assets. If you work to buy a car, you are a slave to the car. You have to keep working to maintain it. But if you use your labor to buy an asset, a rental property, dividend stocks, a business, and that asset pays for the car, you are free. The asset is the slave, the asset does the work. Machiavelli would advise you to build a fortress. Legally, this means understanding tax structures. It means using a corporation to shield your liability. Socially, it means practicing stealth wealth. True power is silent. The loudest person in the room is usually the one with the most debt. He's spreading his feathers to prove he can fly. The eagle soars silently. When you start making money, shut up. Don't buy flashy watches to impress people you hate. Buy the freedom to wake up at noon on a Tuesday if you want to. That is true luxury. Protection is part of the game. If you aren't afraid to lose what you built, you will lose it. Machiavelli warned that a prince must always be prepared for war, especially in times of peace. When the money is flowing, that's when you dig the moat. The seventh law, using time as a weapon. Let's return to the concept of leverage, but applied to your life. You are dying. I'm not saying this to depress you, but to wake you up. Every second that passes is a second you never get back. The poor sell their time, the wealthy buy time. This is the fundamental difference. When you clean your own house, you are saying your time is worth the $20 an hour you would pay a cleaner. When you stand in line to save $5, you are valuing your life for pennies. Machiavelli knew a ruler cannot do everything, he must delegate. You must be obsessed with your effective hourly rate. If you want to be a millionaire, your time must be worth $500 an hour. If you are doing a task that can be done for $20 an hour, you are losing $480 every hour. You are literally burning money by doing mindless work. This is why getting rich is simple. You just stop doing low-value tasks. You outsource them. You automate them. You eliminate them. But I can't afford to hire help. You can't afford not to. It's a leap of faith. You hire help so you have time to develop the skills that earn $500 an hour. You must be arrogant with your time, guarding it like a dragon guards gold. Don't let people ask you questions. Don't go to meetings that could be emails. Don't attend social events out of obligation. Machiavelli said, "It is necessary to be a great dissembler. Learn to say no gracefully. Learn to be unavailable. The scarcer your time, the more valuable it becomes. When you separate your income from your time, the second law, and then protect the remaining time, the seventh law, you achieve the Holy Grail. Autonomy. You wake up, you decide what to do, you do it. That is wealth. Everything else is just gilded handcuffs. The eighth law, unfair advantage. The world tells you to play fair. Machiavelli tells you to win. In finance, this is called asymmetry. You're looking for bets where the potential loss is limited, but the upside is infinite. A salary job has limited upside. You will never earn 1,000 times your monthly salary next month. Yet the downside is total. You can be fired. That's a bad asymmetry. Starting a business, creating content, or investing in a risky but promising asset. The worst case is you lose a little time or money. The best case is your life changes forever. You need to look for unfair advantages. What do you know that others don't? Who do you know that others don't? What are you willing to do that others aren't? Maybe your unfair advantage is your location. Maybe it's your ability to speak a second language. Maybe it's your obsession with a niche topic. Use it. Don't try to be well-rounded. Well-rounded people make good employees. Unreasonable people make history. Find your spike. Sharpen it until it's lethal. If you're a good writer, write until you're the best. If you're a good salesperson, sell until you own the company. Specialization is how you monopolize value. Machiavelli advised concentrating forces on the enemy's weakest point. Find the weak point in the market, what everyone ignores, what everyone does poorly, and attack it with your unfair advantage. Don't compete. Dominate. The ninth law, the end of hope. This is the final and cruelest law. Hope is a strategy for fools. I hope I get a raise. I hope the economy improves. I hope I get lucky. Machiavelli despised those who relied on fortune, on luck. He admired ability, boldness, strength. He famously wrote that fortune is a force that must be resisted and mastered. Don't wait for luck to come to you. You must pull it into existence. You must kill the part of you that waits for a rescue. No one is coming. There will be no government bailout for your life. No rich uncle. No winning lottery ticket. There is only you and the cold, hard reality of the market. This realization terrifies the weak, but it liberates the strong. If everything depends on you, then you are in control. Stop hoping. Start planning. A plan isn't a dream. A plan is a sequence of actions. Acquire a valuable skill. Apply that skill to solve an acute problem.